Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know what? Y'all sit down. You know, this reminds me why I don't speak to other groups. I have a lot of invitations. Used to have a lot. Don't have as many now. Hey, Mike. Don't have as many now as I used to have. I'm going out to Mississippi State to speak next month, so I still do some of that. But, you know, after you speak to the A.L. Williams people, you just don't want to speak to nobody else. I mean, the love you show me, it just tears me up. Driving into Boca, I hadn't been here in quite a few years. Driving into Boca, you know, I got a little emotional. Driving down from Palm Beach, it only takes about 40 minutes from my house to come down here. I listened, Norm, to, you remember those old A.L. Williams songs, you know, old Jones did over in Birmingham, you know? I listened to those things, you know, coming down here to get all pumped up. And I am pumped up. I thought a lot about what I want to say to you today. And so anyway, I love you. I love John. I love Rick. I love what the company's doing right now. I just watched a lot of the DVDs that Mike Burris sent me. What a wonderful person he is. We used to call him the animal. I don't know if you young people know that, but hey, Harold. And but anyway, I'm excited about what y'all are going to do here at Boca. If I had a theme today about what I wanted to talk to you about, it would be how to build a team. Now first, let's think about what is a team. A team is one. It's a oneness. It's everybody has one heartbeat. Everybody on the same page. Now, the first step to building a team is you got to lead with your heart. What is leading with your heart? Leading with your heart is following your instincts, following your gut, not your head. That's the reason I think it's almost impossible for smart people to win, because they're always figuring out the perfect time, the perfect play. Don't mess up. Don't fail. And they miss the moment. Let me give you another unwritten law. I don't know anybody that's ever made straight A's that's ever done anything. Hey, see, you gotta call the play. You gotta call the play. You don't worry about screwing up. You don't worry about messing up. You call the dadgum play. You know, remember my football analogy. If you've got two teams out there Friday night of pretty equal ability, there's about 120 plays in a football game. You know, and at the end of the game, the team that wins, there's 4 or 5 plays that determine who's going to win. 98% of the plays you call don't work like they're supposed to. But you know the team that wins are the players that they believe that next play is going to be one of those 4 or 5 plays. 120 plays a game, they give it every dadgum thing they got. You got to call the dadgum play. You got to lead with your heart to build a team. And leading with your heart is following your instincts, following your gut, not your head, having the courage to call a play. If it fails, and it probably will, you call a play. You call another dadgum play. Leading with your heart is believing in you. Leading with your heart is believing in your principles. It's believing in your system. It's believing in your people. It's believing in your team. And you know what? You know what? See, I was trained as a football coach before A.L. Williams to call a play in 25 seconds. And you know what? Some people said, Art, you call too many plays. Art, you call plays too fast. Art, you always kept changing the plays. But you know what? You know what? In spite of me, A.L. Williams built the largest, most powerful sales force in the history of our industry. In fact, you know what? We were so big there wasn't anybody that even came in a close second. Let me give you another unwritten law. You lead with your heart. You follow your instincts. You follow your gut, not your head. Hey, you know what? You know how important I believe praise and recognition is. It's just everything, that's all. And what a wonderful job y'all do with praise and recognition now. See, everybody needs praise. Everybody needs recognition. If you're going to build a great team, you've got to become an expert on praise and recognition. Where's Tom and Pam Melton? They're here somewhere. You know, it takes a lot of special people to build a championship team. When we started really growing at A.O. Williams, you know, I'd call an emergency meeting, maybe this is Monday and maybe on Friday, and I'd want to do 100 T-shirts. And all these people that did our T-shirts and our trophies, they wanted 6 weeks to get the job done and all this kind of crap. You know, in A.O. Williams, you had to operate like right now, like yesterday. And so I went out to Snellville, Georgia, and I found Tommy and Pam Melton, and I said, I want you guys to start a company. I'm going to help you finance it. And I want you to be ready to give us those T-shirts and give us those trophies. And they were just magnificent. And I think they're here today and done a lot of this kind of stuff. And y'all ought to use them because they get it done, and they get it done on time. You know, Boca is an unbelievably special place for all of us A.O. Williams people. It was here in Boca in 1984 that we celebrated our first national championship, right over there by the swimming pool in that old meeting room. We dropped balloons from the ceilings with $100 in it, you know, just like they did at the Republican and Democratic conventions this year. We gave dozens of Rolex watches out with 1984 national champions on the face of the watch. We had the NSDs dress up in football uniforms, the Ys dress up as cheerleaders, and we celebrated a historic victory. But you know what? The life insurance industry said, we didn't even know we had a national championship. But you know what? They knew it in 1984. They knew it after we got through in Boca. A.O. Williams brought a different kind of competition to this industry. We started a dadgum war. A.O. Williams said here as we left Boca, we dare you, Prudential. We dare you, New York Life, to see if you can take it back. We don't think you're good enough. We don't think you're tough enough to ever be number one again. And you know what? You know what? A.O. Williams won 7 straight national championships. To build a national championship team, you got to build with people that can still dream, that can still believe, that can still hope, that are still willing to compete. See, most people in our country today, and just back then too, that have been so beat up, so put down, that they've just given up on their dream. Let me talk to you a minute about those original 85 people. All those original 85 people that founded this company were all coaches, or they had played on a team. And A.O. Williams turned life insurance into a game. See, A.O. Williams didn't know anything about business. We didn't have any MBAs. We didn't have any professional salespeople. We didn't understand business plans. We didn't understand budgets. But those early A.O. Williams pioneers, they understood putting on a termite uniform. They understood hitting anything in the wrong color jerseys. Those early A.O. Williams people understood what it was like to get screwed, but they also understood what it was like to get even. Well, where's John Rourke? Is John Rourke in here? John Rourke is supposed to have a white towel. He's supposed to be monitoring me today. And when I get too tough and dirty, he's supposed to stand up and wave this towel. Now let me ask you this. We got a lot of young people in here. Do y'all want me to tell it like it is? You sure now? You want me to tell it like it is? You don't want me to clean it up? I might get ugly. It might get ugly. You want me to tell it like it is? All right, Sam, I'm going to do it. And if John stands up and starts waving that towel, you go take him out. Okay? See, I want to talk to you about the A.L. Williams I remember. We were a team. We were together. We cared about each other. At A.L. Williams, we created a bubble that was so positive it was unbelievable. We were together. We were in that foxhole together. We were going to fight for you. We were going to protect you. There was a special kind of spirit in A.L. Williams. We didn't just like it. We loved it. We believed to win. You had to have what I call that Friday night feeling. You had to be so excited you were just about to mess in your pants. See, people won't follow or believe in a negative, dull, disillusioned, dadgum crybaby. See, we believe that everybody wanted to be somebody. Everybody that's ever been born on this earth, they want to be somebody. And we believed as a leader in leading your team, it was your responsibility, no matter how hurt these people were, to reach inside of them, to grab their heart, to help them believe in them again, to believe that there's somebody special again, to believe that we're put on this earth to do something important again, to build a great team. It begins with you, the leader. You've got to become a magnet where people are drawn to you like bees to honey. The most asked question I get even today in A.L. Williams, we sell the coach book up at this little inn and spa in Highlands, North Carolina that Angela and I own. And the most asked question I get today, 22 years after I retired, is, Art, how did you do it? How did those 85 people do it? How did A.L. Williams grow from a peanut of 85 people in one city, in one state, to an army of 225,000 people in every city and every state in Canada? Well, why did Bob Buson give up his $100,000 income to go to a new company where the odds were 99% that we were going to fail? They ask me all the time, why did Bill Lorinda pick up his family and go to Dallas, Texas? Didn't have a pot to pee in. Why did Ronnie Barnes go to Chattanooga, Tennessee? Rusty Crossland go to Denver, Colorado? And the president of the company stood up the first couple of years and said the odds are about like this of us surviving. I don't mean beating Prudential. I don't mean changing an industry. I'm talking about the odds are about like this surviving. My all-time favorite quote is by Winston Churchill. There comes a special moment in everyone's life, a moment for which that person was born. That special opportunity, when he seizes it, will fulfill his mission, a mission for which he is uniquely qualified. In that moment, he finds greatness. It is his finest hour. Those original A.L. Williams thought that this was our moment, that this was our time. These people wanted to do something big. They wanted to do something important. They wanted to leave their mark. They wanted to be somebody. Let me ask you this. Where could people like us go? Look at me. Where could people like us go? Yes, we knew it was impossible. Yes, we knew the odds were 99% against us surviving. But where could people like me go? Where some company would give me a chance. All we wanted at A.L. Williams was a chance. And we really believed if we had a chance, if somebody would take a chance on us, we really believed we were different. We believed we were special. We believed that one day we would change the thinking of the largest industry in the world. We believed that one day we would destroy trash value. We believed that one day our leaders would become among the most successful in American business. We believed that one day we would take our people to all the great places of the world. Those original A.L. Williams people were big dreamers. They were big thinkers. They were big doers. Let me tell you about big. Big is Larry Waddell taking his wife and 2 boys, picking them up in Atlanta, Georgia, and moving to Greensboro, North Carolina. Didn't have any money, didn't have any financial security. His 9th month as an RVP, his base shop was doing $100,000. But during those 9 months, he had produced a first-generation RVP named Joe Covington that when Larry Waddell did a base that month of $90,000, Joe Covington did $60,000. Ultimately, Larry Waddell produced 100 first-generation RVPs. That's big. Big is Bob Buson building a team all over the United States and Canada of over 900 RVPs. Big is Mike Sharp building a team that produces over $4 million a month in premium. Big is Greg Fitzpatrick when we're moving into Canada, taking an A.O. Williams, being an A.O. Williams leader that goes into Canada to help us open up Canada, and we could only pay those original people 4.5%. Didn't even cover his expenses, but he went up there for 1 year, 1 week, every month, losing money, but wanting to build a team, wanting to help us pioneer new territory. Today, he has 50 RVPs in Canada. Big is Kip Ridley for 1 year, running a $200,000 base shop, and that very same year producing four first-generation RVPs. Big is Dick Walker, becoming an NSD by producing 10 first-generation RVPs that do $20,000 each in 1 month. Big is John Rourke and Nick Elise, building a team that's always in the top 100 in A.O. Williams. Fantastic examples of saving your money and becoming financially independent. They became financially independent. They could retire, do anything they wanted to. But 35 years later, they're still in this company. You know why they're still running a base shop? Why they're still out there helping their RVPs produce RVPs and build teams to build financial independence? Because they love them. Because they love being part of a team. Big to me is starting with nothing but a dream. Starting with nothing but a dream. But just being part of a group of people that you can count on, that you love going to war with. And one day, that team kicking Prudential's butt. To build a big team, you gotta have a crusade. And what a crusade y'all have today. You gotta have a crusade. You gotta have a cause to fight for. At A.O. Williams, we were crusaders first. Coach Lombardi says you capture the person's heart, you capture the man. You know, folks, it's not about the money first. It's not about the money first. It's so much bigger than that. Honestly, folks, I never thought I was capable of making big money. I never thought somebody like me could make big money. I never expected that. I never sold a new recruit, never in 20 years, the money first. I always thought, though, cash value was evil. I thought it was criminal what that Gulf Life agent did to me and Angela with 2 children, selling us a $15,000 whole life policy when he could have given us a $100,000 term policy. I couldn't believe what the big insurance companies did to the families in America. Prudential's average size policy was $4,000. It was our passion, Sam, that made us different. It was our passion that gave us a chance. It's got to be the crusade first, not the money. A.O. Williams stood for something. A.O. Williams stood for something. Can you imagine this little old peanut becoming such a dominant company in this industry that when you mentioned the word A.O. Williams, people thought it meant something. It meant something out. It was not just another company. A.O. Williams stood for something. In this industry, when you mention A.O. Williams, those 250,000 agents, those 2,000 companies, they immediately felt fear. They immediately felt intimidation. They didn't know where. They didn't know when. But they knew we were out there. They knew that someday, somewhere, if they sold a trash value policy, A.O. Williams was going to show up. And it was going to get ugly. It was going to get ugly. We didn't want to destroy the company. We didn't want to be nice. We wanted to destroy those jokers. Put that towel down, John. Let me tell you something. The harder they fought, honestly, Mike, the harder they fought. They were so stupid. They should have been nice. They should have just gave up. But the harder they fought, the nastier they were, the more they tried to put us out of business, the more we loved it. The more we loved it. See, we didn't love, hey. We didn't like it at A.L. Williams. We didn't like it at A.L. Williams. We loved it. We didn't like the fight. We loved it. We didn't like the controversy. We thrived on the controversy. In 1976, 10 years after I'd left coaching, I was in corporate America with ITT and Waddell & Reed. And I think the final thing that happened to me that made me want to start A.L. Williams is I was an RVP with Waddell & Reed over the 5 southeastern states. I had 650 people licensed on my team. In 1976, I had 19 people that were ready to be promoted, that had earned the right to be promoted. And Waddell & Reed came out with their 1977 budgets, and they gave my southeastern region 2 new offices to open. The number one region, there were 13 regions in Waddell & Reed. Our region produced more than all the next 12 combined. And they allowed me to open 2 new offices. And 17 people that had earned the right to be promoted had to wait another year, another 12 months, and I couldn't stand it. I wanted to be part of a company with no limits. I wanted to be part of a company that would give you unlimited territory. You could go anywhere. No protected territory. I wanted to be part of a company that would give you an unlimited market. There were millions and millions and millions of people out there that had trash value policy that needed to be replaced. There were 250,000 life insurance agents that were selling hundreds of thousands of policies every year, increasing our market. I wanted to be part of a company that had unlimited money, that never asked you to slow down. I wanted to be part of a company that would give you a chance to make unlimited promotions, that you promoted the individual when they were ready, where you could build it as big as you want and you could keep getting bigger, never holding anybody back. I wanted to be part of a company that had unlimited support. Think about this, folks. Think about this. It took us 12 years to get our own home office. Y'all are moving into your own home office. Hey, Tom, in another couple of months. It took us 12 years, 10 with ITT and Waddell & Reed, and 2 in our first 2 years at A.L. Williams before we could get a company to build our own home office. We were a freak, we were unique, we were different, and we couldn't fit in with other companies out there. A.L. Williams finally had everything in place with no limits. Now, we had no limits, and in February 10, 1977, we had to decide how were we going to grow A.L. Williams. Here we were, a little old peanut. 85 people in one city in one state. How were we going to build this army of 225,000 people in every city and every state? We decided we were going to do it like McDonald's did it, by opening new stores. Let me give you another unwritten law. Great companies always grow. McDonald's was founded in 1984 in California. The first 17 years, they opened 700 stores. In 1983, they were opening 3 stores a day. In 2012, they had 33,000 stores all over the world. To grow, Primerica's got to open new stores. I had lunch this past year, a few months ago, with Truett Cathy, the founder of Chick-fil-A. He founded Chick-fil-A in Atlanta, Georgia in the early 1960s. For 10 years, he only had 1 store. Today, he has 1,400 stores, and he's worth $4 billion. We decided at A.L. Williams that we were going to expand by the magic of multiplication. Let me give you this example of addition versus multiplication. Let's say you are the only RVP, Cheryl, on your team that produces RVPs, and you go out and produce 3 RVPs. Then you do that 10 times. That 10th generation RVP will give you a total of 30. But if you're giving other people a chance to build a team, to have the same unlimited opportunity you have, you go build 3, Cheryl, and you help them build 3. You go build 3, help them build a team of 3, and you do that times 10. Through 10 generations, you would have 59,000 RVPs. That's 30 versus 59,000. If those organizations did $10,000 in premium a month, by addition, you would produce $300,000 a month in premium. But if you did it by multiplication, it would be $590 million a month in premium. That's magic. Ain't that magic? In 1977, the original A.L. Williams plan for growth and expansion was for you to become an RVP, you to produce 7 to 10 RVPs, and you help your RVPs build a team of 7 to 10 RVPs. Let's look at the magic of multiplication again. You produce 7, but you're the only person that produces RVPs. So you do that through 3 generations. That gives you 21, a team of 21. But if you give your people the same unlimited opportunity you have, you produce 7, and then they go out and produce 7. You do that through 3 generations. That's 343 RVPs. So addition is 21. They do $10,000 a month. That's $210,000 a month. But if you build a team of 343 that do 10,000, that's $3.4 million a month. That's magic. You want to know how A.L. Williams built an army? You want to know how A.L. Williams spread out all over the United States? Had an office in every city and every town, even Cairo, Georgia. Had an A.L. Williams office. We did it by multiplication. And as you see, I believe the only way to build successful RVPs is to build strong base shops. You know, for some reason, some of you new people think A.L. Williams, we didn't have strong base shops. You got little old bitty base shops today compared to what our people did. It's just pitiful when I look at some of your numbers. See, at A.L. Williams, we believe the only way to build RVPs was to have strong base shops. See, we looked at our base shops different, though. We thought our base shops were RVP factories. See, our base shops were supposed to produce RVPs, not sales. We were not in the sales business. We built people, not sales. See, A.L. Williams had high standards for its base shops. Not these piddling little things y'all build. I was looking at the A.L. Williams Way in 1985. I wrote the A.L. Williams Way in 1985. Let me tell you what the target was for our base shops. Poor job for life insurance sales was 15 and below. A so-so job was 16 to 29. A good job was 31 to 49. An excellent job was 50 or more. The target RVP base shop income we gave people, we said to make a good living, you need to have 5 direct legs to you. A direct leg is a team that's doing 5 to 10 sales. You need 5 of those direct to you just to make a good living. To make a great living, you need 10 directs. To build it big time, you need 20 direct legs. A.L. Williams believes strong base shop produces strong RVPs. Mary Walker, Tom Safford, Lawrence Walker, join me on the stage, please, for a second. Bob Safford. See, if you want to, you got a choice of building an RVP factory where you build a huge team of lots of RVPs, where you build great wealth and you can pass it on for generations. Bob Safford did that. My good friend died about 1.5 years ago. But what a legacy he left you, right, Tom? Making over $1 million a year. Isn't that unbelievable? Hey, Williams, do you remember, folks, in 1984, when we were here in Boca Raton, that was just a dream. We just hoped we were going to be good enough to do that one day. But it's no longer hope. It's no longer a dream. It's for real. My buddy Lafayette Walker, professor in Washington, D.C., he wanted more than that. He wanted to build a legacy of greatness. He went out and built a great team. And he passed away. But he left it to his young'uns. Man, Hey, come here, Mary. I can start crying over this one. I tell you, I wish.
I love you.
I wish y'all could have known Randall Walker. Randall and Mary Walker, in my mind, there were millions of us in A.O. Williams. We recruited millions. I only got 225,000 licensed. But before you think that's too little, think about what y'all worked that down to. But you know what? Hey, John, put that towel down. Of all the millions of people that came through A.O. Williams, as I look back, I think Mary and Randall Walker symbolize the goodness of A.O. Williams probably better than any other couple I know. Even when those assholes at Citigroup were trying to run this company. Shut up, John. Mary Walker and them, even when they were up there, didn't know what the crap they were doing, almost destroyed this company. They never believed like they believed. They never fell for their crap. They always lived it like A.O. Williams. They kept doing the best in the world. Randall died a few years ago. I wish you could have known him. He was the best. But he and Mary built something great. And they got a great legacy. And they're going to leave something to Mandy and John one day.
Maybe.
Right? Love you, gal. Thank you. Thank you, guys. So when you became an RVP in A.O. Williams, you had your own business, your own company. You could make a decision which way you wanted to go, and whichever way you wanted to build it, we were fine with that. To build a team, you got to have competition. To build it big, you got to love to compete. You got to love the toughness. I love what Coach Leahy said, Mike, in the 1940s up at Notre Dame. He called his running backs together, and he said, running backs, you'd rather die at birth than fumble the football at Notre Dame. That's the way we felt at A.O. Williams. We love to compete. Competition is everything. You got to have a scoreboard. If you don't have something to play for, you and your team get tired. You get bored. You give up. February 10, 1977, when we were that little old bitty peanut, we got together in Atlanta, Georgia, and we said, who do we want to beat? And we said, who's number one? Who's the most famous company in this industry? The largest industry in the world in 1977 was the life insurance industry. We said, who's number one? Who's the most famous company out there? Who do all the people think's the best company in this industry? And we researched and we found out it was Prudential, and we said, that's who we want. We're going after the best. We're going to knock their ass off. So you got to always have competition. On your team, you got to always have somebody going for number one. Somebody trying to break a record, somebody trying to win a promotion, somebody trying to win a contest, somebody trying to win a T-shirt. Competition is everything. Now you know what? Angela kissed me goodbye this morning, and she said, Arn, don't go down there and make a fool out of yourself. He said, can't you go down there and just talk like a regular human being, you know? Do you have to get up there and scream and holler in your face? No, I just can't do it. To build a team, you got to be a winner. You got to be a winner. To build a team, you got to prove to your people that the opportunity is for real. See, folks, at A.O. Williams, we didn't believe in fake it until you make it. See, at A.O. Williams, we didn't believe you needed a big house, or a big office, or a big car, or wearing fancy $1,000 suits, having a Rolex watch. See, you need to keep your expenses low. You can't ever be too low with your expenses. Your personal expenses and your business expenses. You got to live below your means. You got to prepare for crap that happens. Crap's going to happen, right? What do your people need to see you do? What do your people need to see you do to build a championship team? They need to see you always do it first. See, I always had another unwritten law that if one person can do it, then you don't have any excuse. You can do it, right? You ought to be that one person that can do it first. Go prove to your people that it can be done. Always be the best recruiter. Always be the best field trainer. Always be excited. Always be busy. You know the best thing you can show you people is how much money you saved. Folks, I can't tell you the hundreds of part-time people I recruited in this business by showing them my mutual fund statement with $42,000 that I'd saved making part-time at A.L. Williams. I can't tell you the hundreds of people I recruited in this business by showing them my plan of financial independence to build a championship team. We wanted promotion guidelines that were simple, where everybody could understand easily what they had to do to get to the next promotion. We wanted new recruits to get promotions fast. That's the way you build momentum in your team. Is everybody going after a promotion, everybody going after sales leader, district leader, division leader, regional manager, RVP, SVP, NSD. We wanted every new recruit to see a clear, fast path to RVP. Now, warning, folks, if you rape your people, they will find out eventually and hate you. Example, holding people back from RVP promotions so you can make more money in the pools. See, it was mandatory at A.L. Williams that even though you got your own company within a company, it was mandatory at A.L. Williams. And when I say mandatory, that means your ass is going to be fired if you don't do it. It was mandatory at A.L. Williams that everybody follow the company guidelines. You can never have guidelines tougher than the company. Can you believe anybody would do that kind of crap? I'd can their ass so fast you wouldn't believe it. As an RVP, you have the right to promote early. In fact, you're stupid if you don't make battlefield promotions. Another unwritten law. You want to, John, is that too bad? Another unwritten law. You want to promote people when they have momentum, not wait until they lose momentum. Warning, every RVP follows the company guidelines. Let me tell you something interesting. Folks, I was more than a double stud. I produced 9 first-generation RVPs, 7 original RVPs, plus Bob Safford, plus Bob Miller. 100% of my first generations made it. None of them failed. They all were multimillionaires. They all built big teams. All my first built tons of RVPs that became financially independent. But you know what? 20 years later, the A.L. Williams team, those 10,000 RVPs, 225 licensed people, look like 90% of them were RVPs that were doing $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 base shops. And yes, you know what? We even had some RVPs fail. And you know what? If you build a big team, yours is going to look just like that. See, if you have a plan to never have RVPs fail, to promote only $30,000 base shop RVPs, for your RVPs to earn $250,000 a year, 2 bad things will happen to you. Your team will always be little, and number 2, you would have denied hundreds of people, literally hundreds of people, the opportunity to change their life. See, I believe it's your responsibility as an RVP to push up people, to build people, not sell, to promote your people. Yes, when they hit the guidelines most of the time, but sometimes early. If you err, always err promoting people early, never err holding people back. What was the A.L. Williams dream? I'm almost through now, maybe. Y'all hang in here. How long I've been going? Oh, the dream. Let me tell you what the dream was to me. I founded this thing. Let me just tell you the way I thought, you know. Because when I founded A.L. Williams, and I recruited my first guy, Bob Buson. That was in 1972. I started in 1967, so I'd already been in this crap for 5 or 6 years, right? And so let me tell you what the dream was to me. I had a great life. I loved coaching football. I loved that. That was all I wanted to do as a youngster, was be a coach. And the dream to me in going in business and becoming an RVP is I wanted to be my own boss. And most people feel the same way. All the people in this room feel the same way. There are millions and millions and millions and millions of people out there in America and Canada that feel the same way. But I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to be totally financially independent. That was an obsession with me and all 85 of those other people. I wanted to be in a position, John, where nobody could put their thumb on me. Do you know how wonderful it is? I told John Addison, I love old John. He's got a heart. He leads with his heart. But John asked me to speak today. And first, I said, what time you want me to speak? Mike Burris called me. He said, well, you start off at 8:30. I said, I don't do that no more. I said, I don't even know what an alarm clock is. I said, I get up when I want to get up. And I said 95 is packed with people, you know, getting to work from 6 to 8. It's like Atlanta, Georgia. I hate Atlanta, Georgia. You know, I can't get nowhere. It's just right? And I said, I don't speak till 10 o'clock or 10:30. I get up when I want to. I shave and shower. I have breakfast. And I leisurely ride down here listening to A.O. Williams songs. See, I'm financially independent. I don't have to take crap from nobody. See, number two, the reason, the dream to me was number one, being my own boss. Number two, being totally financially independent. Number three was to work at something I'm passionate about. That's what life's all about, folks. I still love this stuff. You understand that? Can you imagine me doing this? I don't have to do, I could be, me and Norm were playing golf, and Dave Francis and Bill Arenda. I could be out there right now at Trump International practicing my golf game. But I'm down here talking to you because I love it. You want to have something you're passionate about. And then the last thing I wanted is I wanted a great quality of life. I didn't want to go in business and just have a crappy life just for the money, just to go out there and screw up your whole everything. I wanted to have it all. I wanted to have a great family. I wanted to enjoy my business. I wanted to love my people. See, the dream we're selling at A.O. Williams was not running a base shop forever. It was not being a fanatic forever. It was not field training greenies 4 and 5 nights a week forever. It was not being on a treadmill forever. That's a nightmare. You understand that? That's a dadgum nightmare. Our dream at A.O. Williams was to work hard. Yes, be a fanatic, kill yourself the first few years, but work hard so you can enjoy a great quality of life. I believe in achieving this great quality of life, you go through 4 phases. Phase number 1, the first few years you are a fanatic. You're out there working 4 or 5 nights a week, training these greenies. Then you enter phase number 2 when you're still running a base shop, but you're starting to promote RVPs and opening new offices. And then you enter phase number 3 where you're promoting more RVPs, and your RVPs are starting to promote RVPs. And now your base shop activity becomes smaller. You recruit less people personally. You enter the field less. And then you enter phase number 4 where you're having fun. You're traveling around talking to your people, helping them reach that great quality of life. The key to building a successful business is building trusting relationships. Building trusting relationships is everything. This is a relationship business. How do you get people to trust you? How do you get people to love you, to commit to you, to be loyal to you, to give you 100%, to believe in you? Another unwritten law. You get people to trust you by you being there, by you being loyal to them, by you believing in them. But you got to prove it. You got to prove it. Let me give you 3 examples. Bob Miller was the first person I recruited down here in South Florida in Fort Lauderdale. He had gone out and replaced a coaching friend of his cash value policy with a term policy with A.L. Williams. That guy's whole life guy came back and said, well, if you wanted term, I could sell you term. And he replaced our A.L. Williams policy with his term that was maybe 3 pennies a month cheaper than our term. And I talked to Bob Miller on the phone. He was a little down and whatnot. And I said, Bob, next week I'm going to be in Fort Lauderdale. I want you to call that coach and set up an appointment. And he said, Art, I don't want to do that. This guy's a friend of mine. All I wanted him to do was have term. He's got term now. I'm happy with that. Let's just leave it alone. I said, no, Bob, that ain't right. I said, call that guy up and I want to see him. Bob made an appointment. I flew down to Fort Lauderdale. Bob Miller and I went out and we had a meeting with that guy. And I said, let me tell you something. That ain't right what you did. Bob Miller, your friend, came in here and educated you on buy term and invest the difference. And that asshole that sold you, hush, John, that asshole that sold you cash value policy, now he's going to come back after Bob Miller educated you, and he's going to sell you now a term policy, which that asshole should have sold you the first go round, you know, and it just costs us 3 cents a month cheaper. You going to do business with, you got to be kidding me. And you know what? He changed back to the A.L. Williams policy. Hey, he never came full time, but he was an A.L. Williams crusader for the next 20 years. You got to be there with your people when they need you. You got to prove that you're loyal to them, that you believe in them, that you're a stud. I get an emergency call from Mississippi Insurance Department puts us out of business. The headline in every major newspaper, A.L. Williams kicked out of the state. I called Bill Anderson, which was our biggest guy there at the time. I said, Bill, call an emergency meeting of all the A.L. Williams people. I'm coming. I didn't run from that. I jumped on an airplane. We go to a hotel. We have a meeting like this. I said, let me tell you something. We're trying to change an industry. Did you think it was going to be easy? Do you think those jokers were going to roll over and play dead? That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to fight. They're supposed to fight dirty. They're supposed to try to put us out of business. This is the way it's supposed to be. But you know what? They ain't going to do it. We're going to knock your ass off. We're going to come back. 2 weeks later, we were back in Mississippi. That year, we had the biggest year we ever had. I get a call one day from Ronnie Barnes. Tennessee kicks us out of business for a week. We go up there and we straighten that out. I get a call from Ronnie Barnes a few weeks later. The Better Business Bureau took a full-page ad out in the Chattanooga Times. Said, warning, don't do business with A.L. Williams. Gave an 800 number for you to call, and they'd tell you, we've been outlawed in 98 states and all that kind of crowd. I told Ronnie Barnes, I called him up, I said, Ronnie, go get the best lawyer you got in Chattanooga and we'll pay for it, and you tell them we're going to sue their ass. And they backed off in 24 hours. You gotta, to build trust and relationships, you gotta be there. You gotta be loyal to your people. You got to believe in your people. And it ain't good enough to talk it, you got to show it. Another unwritten law. Before any business activity takes place, you must have a relationship first. You must have their trust first. Let me give you an example. I never made a sale on the first interview. I understand some of you people do that. It's just almost, I can't even comprehend somebody doing something like that, you know? I mean, I was just a football coach. I never had anybody really train me. I sort of trained myself, you know? But I said, you know, I don't want somebody to walk in my house and put pressure on me to buy something and all this kind of crap, you know? I never made a sale for 20 years on the first interview. The purpose of the first interview is to build a relationship. You want to go in there dressed not like an insurance agent, but like a coach, right? And you go in there and you're with his best friend and you're building a relationship, right? He's getting to know you and where you came from and what your principles are and all that. You're building a relationship. And then the second purpose of the first interview is you pick up information, then you take it home, you analyze it, You prepare a plan, then you go back on the second interview and you make the sale. I don't know any other way to do it. But yeah, it takes more time to build it right. It takes more time to build it right. But it's worth it to build it right the first time. Trusting relationships is everything in every part of your business. Before they buy a life insurance policy, they got to trust you. Before they buy an IRA, they got to trust you. Before they pay $100 to join Primerica, they got to trust you. Before they take off and pay their expenses to go to the convention, they got to trust you. Before they go full time, they got to trust you. Before they make a replacement, they got to trust you. In every single area of your business, trusting relationships is everything. Let me give you an example to take back that'll help you. Write a letter. Write a letter to your people. Folks, for 40 years, right now, I own a little inn up in North Carolina. I've got 220 employees. Folks, today, I still average writing at least one letter every day. Last week, this is an example letter I wrote our head chef. I said, "Dear Johannes, every day I think about how special you are. You are amazing. Art. Trusting relationships is everything." The simplicity and the common sense of A.O. Williams is something I was very proud of. Let me just give you 4 examples. Number 1, you've got to build with quality. You've got to build it right the first time. See, we built with 4 and 5 pointers. Married, got kids, got a home, have a job from 27 to 55. Do you make exceptions? Sure you do. But 90% of your team better be 4 and 5 pointers. Build with quality and build it right the first time. Number 2, the A.O. Williams system. This is simple. We simplified this thing. If you're a stud, the better you get, the more simple you simplify things. A.O. Williams was a warm market company. We never got on a cold telephone. We never knocked on a stranger's home. We never made a cold call. A.O. Williams was built on relationships. Step number 1, you recruit a part-timer with 4 or 5 best friends. Step number 2, the part-timer calls his best friend and sets up an appointment. Step number 3, you get in the field with that new recruit within the first 2 or 3 or 4 days. That's it. That's our whole system. The sales process is no pressure. You never sell on the first interview. There's 3 steps. The first interview, you start building a relationship. You pick up information. Then you go back and you make an analysis. You make a plan. You go to step number 2, you show the plan, you make the sale. Step number 3, you deliver the policy. You recruit the guy. Now, I know y'all got this computer crap, where you can sit there in the office and you can zap that damn thing up and you can get it issued instantly and you can get a quick paycheck. But that's a disaster, Jimmy. See, all this computer crap y'all got is some good stuff, but the fundamentals of building a team don't ever change. And any asshole that tells you any different don't know what in the hell they're talking about. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Let me give you another unwritten law. I think it's stupid to send your recruits to one of those Tom Hopkins sales training crap. It's so stupid on so many levels, I ain't even going to be stupid enough to sit up here and try to explain it to stupid people. Number 4. I told John, 4 times I told John, don't invite me down here. And I said, John, I'm going to upset some of your people, but the people I upset needs to have their ass upset. I can tell you that. Number 4, have high standards. Do it right the first. Have high standards. You know, one of the greatest moments in an athlete's life is to get that leather jacket. Ain't that right, Larry? To get that leather jacket. Man, that meant something, right? To get that leather jacket with that K on it, that means you were a stud. All the girls looked at that and just, right? Man, you were a stud. You were part of a team. You were something else. You weren't like all the other students. You wear that letter jacket, though, you got a responsibility, right? You out there drinking and doping and doing bad things, then people that see you with that letter jacket, they think I'm like you. They think you ain't gonna do it. I got this out of the A.O. Williams way. I wrote this in 1985. The A.O. Williams image. A leader must look like a winner, talk like a winner, act like a winner, and be a winner. Dress conservatively. Don't recruit people that got these earrings in their eyelids and nose and tongue. No alcohol served at any A.O. Williams meeting or convention. No excessive offices. We make money in the field, not in the office. No limousines. Y'all know what timeout is with your kids? It's hard to believe, but we had one RVP. I was speaking at a meeting up north somewhere. I won't even tell you who it is or where it was. And all of a sudden, I'm walking into the arena, and this big old long limo pulls up. And some guy steps out that's coming to the meeting. And I put that RVP on timeout. No limousines, flashy cars, and all that crap on company business. You live within your means. You have a good financial image if you're going to be a leader in our company. You got to make money, save money, pay your bills, be a good citizen in your community. No profit for selling anything to your people. Hey, have high standards. As president of A.O. Williams, I've always tried to look dignified. Check out these orange shoes I wore down here today. Have a good personal image. Don't let money and success change you. Remember where you came from. Always be a good, caring person. Have a great family life. Spend time with your family. Take care of your family. Always be positive, a personal example. People respond to things you do and the way you live more than the things you say. Always have the highest standards of honesty and integrity. Be honest and be above board in everything you do. Let me close with this. To be a great leader, to build great teams, you've got to become a great encourager. Another unwritten law, everybody needs somebody to encourage them. Always remember this flashing sign on everybody's chest that you recruit on your team that says, make me feel special, make me feel important, I want to be somebody. Everybody needs somebody to encourage them. Growing up in Cairo, Georgia, I was never great at anything. I was never a great athlete, just pretty good. I was never a great student, just average. I never thought I could make big money. I never thought I could run a big company. In every way, I was pretty average on the outside. But I was blessed to have somebody that was a great encourager in my life. Coach Taylor made me feel special. Coach Taylor made me feel important. Coach Taylor made me feel like, as I was a kid, that one day I was going to do something really important. Coach Taylor was my one hero in life. I'm 71 years old, and I remember it just right now, just like it was yesterday, sitting in that lunchroom, seeing Coach Taylor eat with those other teachers and coaches over there, or out on a basketball court or the football field, and I'd look at him and I'd say, man, if I could ever be good enough to be like him. If I could ever make kids feel special like Coach Taylor makes me and my teammates feel, that's the best thing I could ever do with my life. As a kid growing up, all I ever wanted to do was coach, was to make kids feel special. All I ever wanted to do was be like Coach Taylor. Everybody needs somebody to encourage them. Folks, if you want to build a great team, if you want to really make a difference with your life, if you really want to change people's lives, go be Coach Taylor. I love you.